Hi, Umang. How are you?
Fine, Shubham. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good as well. Perfect. So, just to give people a brief introduction about Umang, and I have been friends for far too long. We were part of the same school. Actually, we were benchmates as well for a long time. And mostly, I perfectly remember, if I'm not wrong, it was from 6 to 8 most of the time, somewhat. And
Yeah,
the healthy competition between us was not just about those getting good grades in the subjects, but if I'm not wrong, maintaining neat and perfect notebooks was also a thing by that time that we had. So yeah, I mean,
and getting different stars.
yes, getting different stars. Yes. So this all, I think, ended till class 12th, and then I moved to Mumbai and moved to Pune for his further studies for the engineering. Post that, he's been in Infosys for the past 2 years. We'll be asking questions about his journey. So yeah, Umang, could you please give your brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah. Thank you, Shubham, first of all, for having me on your, YouTube series, Sundays with Safaya, and giving the intro. So as you just mentioned, so we had, same schooling in Jammu, KC Public School. And after completing the 12th, I went to Pune for pursuing my engineering. So I pursued my engineering in computer science from Pune University. And then I got offers from three different companies, Zensar, and then it was Atos Intel, and finally it was from Infosys. And then, after studying all the three offer letters, so I joined Infosys. And right now it has been 2 years in the Infosys, and I have been working in Infosys as a Spring Boot developer.
Okay, Spring, perfect. Perfect. I think my first question with regards to you would be a brief introduction, a brief description about how your interview experience was. Now, the thing is,
Mm.
as you had three offer letters, so it also requests you just give a slightest of the overview or idea about how the other two interviews went. But yeah, a detailed description about how your Infosys interview experience was.
Okay, fine. So yeah, as I got selected in Zensar and Atos and in Infosys, so basically the overall structure of all the three companies was similar. So it was first aptitude test. The aptitude tests of all the three companies consisted of the verbal section and then some quant section and critical reasoning and logical reasoning, all those things.
Mhm.
So and then after this interview, this aptitude test, it was the GD, and for some the technical and the HR was separate interviews, and for Infosys it was combined interview for both HR and technical. So coming down to Infosys, so my interview was basically, I can say it was resume driven.
Okay.
So basically, the interviewer was looking over my resume, picking up the different things which I have mentioned in the resume, and we are discussing about those things.
Okay.
And then so it was a mixed HR interview and a technical interview.
Okay.
So they were basically, we were talking about our hobbies and all those things. And then he landed upon the technical section. So as a computer engineer, we have the curriculum in which we have Java, we have SQL database, and then we have computer networks and computer graphics and all those things. So I had written that in my resume that I have studied these things and these are like my interests and all. So he picked up those things and he started questioning about those things. So they were pretty basic questions, but he wanted to have an idea that whether the candidate like me, whether I have the understanding of the concept or not. So it was not like just tell me about this, whether I know the definition or not. Okay. So the different questions he was asking me, like one question he had asked me, so he told me to explain me some Java concepts, but as if I am explaining it to my parents. Okay.
Okay.
So like he wanted to have the, an overlook whether he can make his parents understand or not. So if you can make your parents understand what is polymorphism, what is abstraction in that layman terms, so I think, you will have the proper knowledge about those. topics. So that was the thing. And regarding the interview, I think it was a pretty normal interview. Just you should have the basic understanding of the things. It would not be like, he would go into that, like the interview would be in much detail, like all the concepts. If you written Java, then it would be like, tell everything about Java, what is multi-threading, what is concurrency. It would not be like that. But whatever you know, you should know in it, like you should have the you should have good understanding about it. That's all.
Perfect. Perfect. So, I mean, is there any specific times, because we don't know answer to all the questions. Let's say if I ask you three questions, it's not necessary that you will be knowing answer to all those three questions, because as you said, whatever you should know that completely. So, was there a moment you felt that you missed on anything, or I should have known this?
I think I was lucky with that.
Okay.
The concepts which he asked me, like I knew those concepts. So basically, see, if you have written Java in your language, in your resume, so Java is not, is not just regarding all the for loops and if else condition. Java is a very vast concept. Okay. So knowing everything of Java, it's a major task. And like we have just we have just completed our engineering. So we are not any industrial experience on Java. So I think the interviewer also knows that they are just, they have just come out of the college and they don't expect us that you will know everything about Java or everything in detail about something. Okay. So that's the thing.
Perfect. Okay, actually, my next question would be specific to did you feel ever during the interview or during the complete process that you had, this is one thing that I should have known earlier. See, because I mean, I agree to the fact you're already selected for the companies, but did you feel at any point or any moment that this was one thing that if I would have known or I should have known before the interview?
Okay. So I think that what I should have done, what my resume was, it was a pretty general resume. Okay. It was very generic resume, which I could apply, in any, which I could have given in any company. That's what a fourth year engineering student does. As he has to apply in different universities, different companies. So he usually makes a general resume and applies to it. But I think like what we should do is make a proper specific resume. So if you are applying to Infosys, so what I could have done is like I could have studied their role. So like if I know that what system engineer does, what are the requirements? Okay, so I could have written those things first. Like I am not saying like just write down whether you know it or whether you do not know it. Also just paste it on your resume. Not that, but if you know that concepts, if you know that instead of, because the resume is just one page, you cannot write everything on it, right?
Correct.
So like so it should not be the case like you have 3 or 4 pages of resume. So as it's one page, you have specific space to write your things. Okay, so all the things which are necessary, write it first.
Correct.
That thing I could, I could have crafted my resume in such a way that it caters the needs of that role.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing, because every specific job role has some specific requirement. So it is
Yes.
that we rely on that specific thing. Perfect. Perfect. So okay, my next question, Umang, is a very specific one. It is all about what I've heard, and it might be a myth to some people, and I don't know if it's a fact or a myth or whatever it is. Yes. So I'll be asking you this, that I've heard that in Infosys we have this 9th semester. So, I mean, after we do our engineering, so it's a 4-year course, it's 8 semesters, and mostly we are done with our engineering, then it's all about work. But in Infosys, there's something again that we need to study or something like that. So could you please tell us about what's this 9th semester?
Yeah. So in Infosys, this 9th semester, basically what is referred to, like what you are referring to as 9th semester, is the basic training which every Infosys, the selected candidates have to go through. Yeah. So that training is held in Mysore. That's a wonderful campus of Mysore. Okay. So if you'll go, like whenever whenever a candidate gets selected, in Infosys, the first thing he searches is like, what is the campus in Mysore like? And the photos do not do justice to that campus. when you will experience that campus, so it is like you will be mesmerized by the campus. Okay, so such is the campus of Infosys Mysore. And in every Quora question or every blog, like whatever you will read, you will see that like you will the first line would be like I cannot the experience of that training is such like I cannot forget that experience. And I was like what, it's just 4 months of training, so like why he's so much attached to that Infosys Mysore. But after completing that training, you will know that like if you will ask me to write a question like about Infosys training, now I will also start with the same line. Okay, so that's okay. So basically, leaving the campus aside, and now coming to the training itself. Okay, so the training is divided into two parts. One is the generic training, and one is the stream training. Okay, and the generic training is like which every candidate has to go through. It is the basics of coding. They will teach you Python, they will teach you data structures and database, which will be Oracle, SQL, anything which they select. And then after completing your generic training, you will get allocated to a technology. So it can be SAP, it can be iOS developer, it can be Spring Boot, it can be Java, it could be anything. Okay, that's based on the demands, like the demand of the project which Infosys is working right now. Okay,
Not
so
the
after
performance. It doesn't involve the performance. How you were performing in all the.
no, so basically, see, right now, if the projects are coming off, iOS development, so they will make you train in iOS development. If the projects are of Java, so they will train you in Java frameworks or whatever they require. Okay, so they will mend you according to that. Okay, so and coming to the like this, so after you have completed your training in generic training, so then you will get allocated to the technology that would be as per the demand of Infosys projects. Once you complete your stream training, then you will get allocated to the project. And the one thing about training is like based on your performance of the training, you will get hikes. Okay, so suppose like there is a criteria if you will get above 92%, that's called top performer. So you will get a decent amount of hike. I don't think I can disclose that amount, but you will get a decent amount of hike in your salary. Okay. And if you get from 90, like below 92, so I think it's 85 to 92%, you get called as high performer. Okay. Then again, you get a decent hike in your salary. Yeah. And below 95, I think there is no hike. It's as per your CTC, whatever it was decided, it will be as per that. And one more thing, if suppose you fail any training, okay. Then some amount would be deducted from your salary.
Oh, so you mean the
so again that
CTC that has been justified?
yes.
So the CTC can.
Yes, some amount would be.
Okay.
Yeah, some amount would be deducted from your salary. Okay, so that's one thing. So if you are a CS graduate, don't think like, okay, don't take this training lightly. So you will be like, I know the concepts. You will go to the like paper, exam, whatever it is. And then if suppose by chance you fail even by one mark, so some amount of, amount would be deducted from your salary.
Will the amount be deducted for like the first month or like the whole year, like every month? Because
for the probation period.
Okay.
Like after completion of your training for 1 year, you would be as a probationary officer, like probationary employee, I can say. So that 1 year is also the bond period where you cannot leave. If you leave, you will have to pay something as per your agreement. And in that 1 year, so that hikes, what I was talking about, is specific to that 1 year. Okay, so that decent amount of hike which I was telling you, and if you are above 92, you will get a decent amount of bonus also. Okay, so training plays an important role in So it has some monetary benefits also, and you will get exposure to different technologies also, and they will train you, like they will make you specialize in that technology, whatever they will allocate you, because they have top-notch educators there.
Perfect. Just to add to that one, because I had heard once Narayan Modi saying that if you help me with good students, I think I'll make them engineers in 6 months as compared to the actual default 4 years of engineering. So yeah, I mean, denying how.
I think that's with the reference to the training.
Yeah. Yes.
The Mysore training.
Yes. Yes, perfect. Perfect. And now, Umang, actually, my next question is specific to the different backgrounds that Infosys is involved into. Because I know that, I mean, we all know that Infosys does not hire people just from the CS and IT domain. It hires from multiple various domains. Accordingly, why? Because it has different verticals into it. So could you give us a brief description about what the different verticals are, and what's your thought process about the basic bare minimum requirement? See, I know because you would, I mean, you are a part of one of those verticals. So if in case you can help with that vertical and the other verticals as well, so it would be great.
Okay. So yeah, so basically, as you just told, so Infosys does not, recruit only CS engineers or IT engineers. So Infosys being a IT technology, one expects that, it will hire only IT engineers and only CS engineers. So like one argues or one has these thoughts in mind, like why Infosys hiring, mechanical engineers, petroleum engineers, automobile engineers, like engineers from different background except CS identity, why they're hiring it. So basically they have a very defined role in Infosys. So basically Infosys being a service-based company, so their clients can be from energy sector, can be from telecom sector, can be from automobile, civil, any different sector. Okay. So they will have to cater their demands. So now in the software development life cycle, any software development life cycle you will pick. So the first part always is the requirements gathering part. So basically you would have to, clarify the requirements that what client needs from the software or whatever the service we have to provide to them. So if now you are a telecom client, or you are a petroleum client, and Infosys sends its CS engineers and IT engineers for the requirements gathering. So as like I am a CS graduate, so I would not be able to understand the things which petroleum engineers are saying to me, right? The client is from petroleum domain, so he would be talking to me in the terms and technologies of petroleum.
Correct.
Right. So we would need someone who has expertise in that domain, right? So who knows those slangs and all those things of the petroleum people. So that's why we need engineers and from different domains. So this could be in the automobile sector or any this is dependent. So this is why Infosys hires different engineers from different domains. And regarding the different verticals.
Yes.
Yeah. So regarding the different verticals of Infosys, so basically it's divided into three parts: Infosys IT, Infosys BPM, and Infosys Consulting. Okay, so whenever you will hear a recruitment drive, it would be mostly for Infosys IT only.
Okay.
So, and Infosys IT, it consists of, the basic Infosys which you hear is Infosys IT. So, it starts from the system engineer's role, and then it gradually progresses to senior system engineer, then technology analyst, then team leads, project manager, senior project managers, and like till the far you can go. And then there is Infosys BPM, and then there is Infosys Consulting. In Infosys Consulting, there are roles such as associate consultants and senior as consultant, senior associate consultant. So frankly speaking, like I don't have enough knowledge about the other two verticals, but if you are applying for the roles of if applying in the roles of Infosys BPM or Infosys consultant, then you can, go through the website and gather more information about that.
Perfect. I mean, my next question is involved to, because I know you did an internship at Thermax. So how much did that internship help you, and what would you recommend on the internship part as per your thought process?
Yeah. Okay. So the internship that I did it in third year. Okay. So like I did not have enough knowledge, okay, at that time. So what I did, I went to Thermax. I thought it's a good company. Yeah, okay, fine. And then I went to Thermax. I had applied to many different companies also. So like I took Thermax for the internship, and then the work assigned to me in Infosys was so they had some code in .NET, so we had to restructure it. Okay. So yeah, so basically my 30 days went into understanding .NET. So I understood some, yeah. So I understood, like, basically I did not have knowledge about .NET. Okay, so frankly speaking, I had C++, C, Java. So I took some time to understand .NET, and when I understood the .NET, so the internship was over. Okay, so but yeah. So see, so if I would say, like, see, if you are doing internship, make sure it's relevant to your domain. Okay, so whatever you are doing, don't do it just for the sake of internship. Okay, the mistake which I did, don't recommit it. Okay, so don't commit that mistake again.
Perfect. 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 I get that. I get that. I mean, people might out there might also get that, because I also did some internship just because I thought I was a part of yes, electronics and telecommunication domain, but again, did not help much. Perfect. I think now I think I'm mostly done with my questions. But yeah, coming to my last and the favorite question that I usually have. So it would be grateful. I would request you to, if you can refer people, so that, because I'll be adding your LinkedIn profile in the description section below, so they can ping you on LinkedIn as well. So, and I would request them to comment whatever the questions are. So could you please help me, if people are willing to get a referral? Could you please help me with that?
Yeah, sure. So basically in Infosys, we have this site called Connectify, where, if I want to refer someone, I can just enter his details, his resume in that site, and then Infosys will directly, approach them.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to, get into Infosys, just, comment your things, just, or, you can message me with your resume and the details, and I can refer very easily using that Connectify site.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Umang. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being a part.
No worries.